Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside CU Sports. With me today as my first guest is men's tennis head coach Kyle Cavan. Kyle, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
I know it's been a little bit since we've had you on, so could you kind of provide us a recap of how team competition has gone for the men's tennis team?
Yeah, of course in the fall, most of it's individual. So we've played our ITA regional tournaments, which we had a few good results. And, it's a big tournament. We have a great region, so it's kind of tough to actually win it. But, we had a good Mid-South Conference Invitational, which is only second year for that, and the first team event that we've had in the fall, and it went well. We ended up losing to Lindsey Wilson. We had a great match, with UT Southern, which, is we had a battle with them last year. Had a great match with Lindsey Wilson as well. I had a really couple tight matches at 2 and 5, and I think we won at number 3. So, coming out of the fall is very good. And then we had actually a really tough battle with Georgetown as well, in the kind of the round robin last match. But so as far as the team chemistry, everything like that, we feel like as a team, result is very good.
How does your coaching style change when you shift from the more individualistic play to team-oriented play?
Yeah, definitely in the fall, it's because it's a little more individual. We're focused on, you as a person and your style, and whether we're being a little more aggressive or a little more patient, or we're working on the fitness a little more, or, really small things. Once we move into the spring and we're focused on a lot of team bonding and team chemistry, like you're mentioning, and how can you compete with one another and support one another, and even if you're not playing, or how can you play on court number 2 but support court number 3 at the same time and keep your focus and things like that. So it's a lot of different focus as far as us being able to see it as a big whole, which, it's nice to do it a little bit individual in the fall.
As you head into the spring, would you say just team chemistry is where you're seeking to improve, or are there other areas that you're wishing to focus on?
Yeah, the chemistry is really good. We have a couple of guys coming in the spring as well. So, we're working on finishing up their, eligibility and transitioning them into starting school. But, team chemistry is awesome. I think it's one of the best groups we've had in a while. And for us, it's just a little bit just development, making sure that we're doing good in the weight room, we're doing good in our fitness, and we don't lose a whole lot of that when these kids go home for the Christmas break, and, be able to come back in a good way. And we won't start the season until in February, so we'll have a little bit of time in January to get that back. But the goal is to get as good as we can now so that we don't lose too much.
From the beginning of the fall semester till now, has there been any emergencies that maybe were unexpected, or perhaps even were expected, that you're glad to see as you head into the spring?
Yeah, the biggest thing is I think we've brought guys that are really good competitors, and we kind of focused on that in our recruiting strategy. And, other than having just talented guys that can go out and play, we found guys that really like practicing, they really like working hard, and they're actually good competitors. So they know how to play a match, they know how to navigate, how to play a set, kind of work their way to the end. Because a lot of tennis is, you go 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, and you work your way up a set. And of course, some guys get a little sad if they go down 2-1 or 3-0, but the guys that are tough can come back and they don't mind the score too much. So we're really happy with that.
What do you personally find the most rewarding about being the head men's tennis coach?
Yeah, I think, and I tell kids all the time that it's when they do good things or they achieve things, and it could be a national ranking that they have. It could be a win over an opponent that they haven't beaten before. But even simple things as far as them coming to us and saying they got all A's in their classes this semester because, we helped just push them a little bit and make sure that they had the resources they need to do that. And I think for us, it's helping them be accountable. And, obviously their parents aren't, we have a lot of international athletes as well. And even for the Americans, their parents aren't necessarily around. So, for us, being able to have those small wins every day is big for us.
Is that something you all discuss, these sort of day-by-day short-term goals, or are there long-term goals that your team are open and kind of already have on their board to target for the season?
Yeah, we have both. We have some long-term goals, of course, and that we'll talk as a team as far as maybe winning the Mid-South Conference Championship, the national tournament, things like that. And then we have small ones as far as, like you said, the grades that come, or the GPA that's trying to come out with the semester, how many hours they want to pass, little things in our fitness as well. If we're trying to increase their mile time or one of the fitness tests that we have, trying to improve those a little bit. But a lot of little things as well, just in their actual just development and being appreciative of the opportunity they have.
As a coach, how do you balance the academic focus, the athletic focus of a student athlete?
You know, it's tough, you know, and of course, you know, they have a lot of free time. So it's trying to help them manage and understand that they have plenty of time to do their homework, plenty of time to do their studying. They just have to allocate it correctly. And for, I think most of these kids, they just want to procrastinate and put it off a little bit. So for us, trying to push them, luckily we've had some good students here. So it's helped us a lot because we don't have to do as many study halls as things like that, and we just try to allocate some of our resources towards the kids that struggle just a little bit and getting used to, especially the freshmen, and making sure that they know that the tutoring system is in place for them to succeed. And we plug in with their teachers quite a bit as well. So we reach out and make sure that the kids are actually going to class, that they're doing what they're supposed to, and if they're taking care of that, then we feel like they can be successful.
I know you personally frequent mission trips with SCORE International. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on one, and of course with COVID it changed it a little bit. Yeah, but SCORE is a great organization, you know, and there's a lot of good ones. But you know, it's such a blessing to go on those because it's, you know, it's just an ability to give back to a sport that's given to you, sort of course. But you know, you're able to go into these communities and see kids and help them. We've helped a couple of kids in the recruiting process and going to college a little bit, just giving a little advice if we can. You know, on simple things for SAT scores and TOEFL scores and how they can actually get into colleges. And we feel like that's been a good benefit for us, and maybe that was a good reason we win. And, you know, we still have several friendships that I have. And, you know, I've been to the Dominican Republic 3 or 4 times, and, you know, we still talk to some of those guys that are coaching down there and have resources. And, you know, I think the human connection and just being able to be a part of their life is big. You know, and it could be that 5 years down the road I can help them in some way, or them for me. But I think the relationships are big.
Well, what's next for the men's tennis team?
Yeah, so we're done with the fall season now. So we're just, you know, like I said, focused on our fitness and our weight training, and we'll do that for another couple of weeks, and then we'll be done for the fall. And then really, we're just gearing up for the spring season. So all these kids will get to go home for Christmas, or hopefully most of them, and kind of enjoy their free time. And once we come back, get ready for the season. And, you know, we're excited. We think that we're going to have a really good team this year. And, you know, it's going to come down to us staying healthy as well. We've unfortunately had a few seasons in a row where we've had a lot of injuries in the heart of the season where we play the conference matches. So hopefully that's kind of our focus, is making sure that we do a lot of prehabilitation to make sure we're good to go.
Well, thank you so much, Kyle. Best of luck to you and the team.
Appreciate it.
The rest of this semester and into the spring as well. And we'll be right back with more on Inside CU Sports.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
love.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
I was forgetting my responsibilities at work.
I told Mom we should visit a doctor.
Alzheimer's. It was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support as a family. I've never felt more connected with Mom.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason. Thank you.
a place to make my own, a place that I call home, this place that I call home.
Welcome back to Inside CU Sports. With me now as my second guest is the legendary Buford Sanders, head coach of the baseball team here at CU. Buford, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm blessed.
Oh, I'm glad to have you. Well, you're currently 8th in all-time current baseball head coaching victories, and then you're 24th all-time, period. What does it take to be a successful head coach, in your opinion?
Well, I think you need to have a template that you go by. You need to identify what your philosophy is going to be, how you plan to approach every day, and every season, and with your guys. Know yourself, that's very important, and do the best you can each and every day. That's vital, because the days come and go, and they go quickly. And what you do is so important that you don't waste your time, because you can never get it back. But having a philosophy that you believe in and that's workable for you and you're comfortable with, and then sharing it with your associates, the coaches that are going to be helping you, and then conveying it and getting your roster members to buy in, I think is key.
Heading into your 32nd year this upcoming season, that makes you the second longest tenured head coach at CU outside of Donna Weiss. What is it about this community and this campus that has had you stick around all these years?
Well, when I was hired the summer of '90, it was a tremendous opportunity to rebuild and to develop a program. And we started doing that, and we began to have some success. And my children at the time were boom stair steps, like 10, 8, and 6. And so they're in school and just getting started. I never would have thought that I would have stayed here this long, but I don't regret anything. I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be and have always felt that way. When we start to have some success and you want to expand and grow and continue to develop, there's a challenge right there. And from where we began in the early '90s to where we are now has taken so many different people's involvement, players, staff, administrative folk, here on campus. And I love Central Kentucky. I mean, it's a sportsman's paradise. I love the outdoors and hunting and fishing, and it just gets in you, and you get those roots going down, and you settle in, and you have this season, and you have some success, and you want to repeat, and it just, it continues on. And it's just basically, been something that I've enjoyed. And I've always felt like, again, that this is exactly where I needed to be and doing what I need to be doing. And that's a great feeling.
Over time, each season different than the last. I'm sure your coaching style and philosophy changes to your rosters as well over time. But coming out of these COVID-impacted seasons, it's still impacted this school year as well. What do you feel like that you've learned kind of sort of during these unprecedented times that maybe has provided you additional insight as a head coach? For me, I guess I've doubled down on the thinking of don't make excuses, don't complain. Whining doesn't accomplish anything. Do the best you can under the circumstances. Just keep fighting, keep playing, keep working. I'm big on trying to maintain positivity. That's not that you are in denial that something's difficult or we aren't playing well, but the only way to resolve issues, to get people to respond the way you want them to respond, to play better, et cetera, is attitudinal. Mm-hmm. It's all attitude. And I'm a big believer in that. The 6 inches right here is truly the determining factor day in and day out in our lives. And I want to be an example of that. And so I'm always looking in the mirror and saying to myself and thinking and meditating about, hey, be what it is that you want them to be and show them, lead by example.
And you know, that's a challenge in itself because we all have those tough moments, but you get through them with that attitude.
Based on that or following that, what does it take, in your opinion, to build a champion of character both on the field and off the field?
I think it's important, again, that the guy at the top demonstrates what it is that the tenets of being a champion of character are. And you have to address that throughout the year. I mean, it's a continuum that you're talking about. What is a champion of character? And you're talking about values, and you're talking about choices and decisions, and you try to give those guys examples. We have, you know, sessions, and we just talk about things that are contemporary things that are occurring in our society, and how that affects us and people in sports figures, that you know, decisions and choices that they make, some good and some bad, but using those as an examples. Here's what we're talking about. Here's what's going to be, you're going to be facing, you know, later on, and talk about how tough it is to do things correctly and to do things in a sportsmanlike manner, a Christian-like manner, but in a means that's not like people that are just selfish and self-centered. But, you know, be different, and be that kind of person that is thinking about others and the team as opposed to just always thinking about themselves.
You're an associate athletic director as well. What responsibilities exactly does that entail?
Everything that Jim Hardy doesn't want to do.
Yes, sir.
No. In various ways at different times, I do a variety of different things. A lot of game management and you know, working with our other sports teams and just things behind the scenes, trying to facilitate. I assign the times in the weight room and keep check of the indoor facility and do the times there and just try to keep up with the maintenance needs there. But it's varies from week to week, and I do enjoy that too.
At what point in your head coaching career did you decide that's something that I could take on, or was it something that you had the opportunity and you just kind of took it on a whim?
Well, I have thought about that some, and you know, it sort of it's still in sports, it's still in athletics, and it's something that you know, I've thought about, you know, maybe in the future about, you know, maybe getting more out of the you know, the direct coaching thing and more into the administrative part, you know, if that works out and if that's available. So that's a means to you know, to achieve that too.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Coach. I really appreciate you coming and being on the show today.
Thank you, Sheldon.
And best of luck to you and to the baseball team in their upcoming season.
Well, I know you're new, and I wish you the best and all your staff as you develop a first-rate program yourself. So good luck to you.
I appreciate it. We'll need it. that's for sure. And we'll be right back with more on Inside CU Sports.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
back to Inside CU Sports. My last guest today is Zach Wilson, Athletics Video Coordinator, typically behind the scenes of this production, but we've got him on the set today. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm good, Sheldon. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
What is your history with Campbellsville University?
So I started here for undergrad. I came in 2014, originally to actually play JV baseball. Came on, played for about a year, and then I realized, you know, it was time to just really settle down and focus on school. It got kind of hard working both the athletics and, you know, focusing on school. So I figured, you know, it was best to settle down and worry about my future career. So.
What was it about broadcasting as an undergraduate that pulled you in and interested you?
Well, actually, I came in as a biology major, believe it or not, and I really wanted to get into physical therapy, athletic training, some sort of career like that. And then on the way home, you know, I just really decided science wasn't for me. I wasn't really getting the hang of a lot of the chemistry classes, stuff like that. So I was coming actually back from a UK football game, and I was listening to the radio, heard Tom Leach on the radio, and I was like, man, I love sports. You know, this is something that I could see myself doing at some point in my life. And I just kind of took it. In the next couple weeks, I went and changed my major, got into the broadcast department, and the rest is history.
What is a common misconception about athletics broadcasting?
I would say probably the work that goes into it. There's a lot of setting up, breaking down, a lot of pre-work and post-work after the games and prior to the games that a lot of people just don't see. I think that there's a lot that goes into what makes a broadcast and what makes a successful broadcast as well. But I'd say the biggest misconception is how much work actually goes into it as a whole.
What, in your opinion, then, makes a successful broadcast?
Really, it's a collective effort. So you have to have all hands on deck that really know what they're doing, know what the goal and the target is, and what you want to produce and put out compared to what, you know, you're trying to do. I feel like everybody has to be on their, you know, top of their game and be ready to go. It's a lot of planning as well. Really just the functionality of a team effort, I think, makes the best broadcast possible.
Well, right now it's crossover season. Right. You've got fall sports ending or coming to a close. You've got winter sports starting. What would you describe as a typical day in the life of Zach Wilson?
Well, all over the place.
Yeah.
So all over campus, you know, whether it be a volleyball game or a basketball game, football game, whatever it is, I'm either up in the press box setting up, getting cameras ready to go, down at volleyball at Gosser, getting stuff ready to go, fixing stuff in the control room, or, you know, here in the studio over at the MassCom building, you know, producing shows, directing shows like this. So all over the place, but, you know, it's something that you really, it gets you going and makes the days easier because you're always up and doing something. Helps the hours go by a little quicker as well. So, I mean, I'm all over the place, yeah. But, yeah.
A huge component of what the broadcast efforts are now, prior and moving forward, is to be student-centric.
Right.
So, kind of describe what that entails for the students that you all have.
So all of our broadcasts are student-led, student-operated. You know, I'm there as the athletics video coordinator. You've got Alex Mead and Jordan Annell that help out as well. We kind of just oversee a lot of the things, you know, making sure things go smoothly. But when you see a broadcast, you know, that goes out on the athletics stream over television, whatever it is, it's all student-led. So they're the ones running cameras. Typically, they're the ones broadcasting, especially with the athletics like volleyball, soccer, stuff like that. I know Colin Sheffield does a lot of our broadcasts for us, play-by-play. But all the positions, so replay, camera, audio, graphics, they're all students. So we just really have to continue training and developing students to try to get it to that professional level that we want to achieve. But it's all student-led, so I mean, it's a learning process at the same time.
In that regard, what makes an effective athletics video coordinator?
I think someone that actually cares about providing the teams with the best coverage possible. You know, me coming as a former athlete, you know, growing up through high school and playing a year of baseball here, I have a history with athletics, so I know, you know, everybody loves seeing their games on TV, internet streams, whatever it is. So you want to provide that same kind of coverage and, you know, care and authenticity that the athletes would care about here at Campbellsville. So I think that just knowing that we're doing it for the students and the student athletes to help them get their names out there. Not only that, but we're giving them coverage so their parents back home. We have a lot of international students. They just can't up and come to Campbellsville to watch a game. So I think just stuff like that, just really being able to provide coverage and be there for the students when they need help or, you know, have questions, anything like that.
We have a lot of either coaches or administrators here at Campbellsville University who were prior student athletes. When you were a student athlete, now when you reflect on that experience, does that inform how you approach the student-led broadcast or even the videos that you would want to see
Right.
as a former student athlete yourself?
I think so, definitely. You know, like I said, the big thing when you're a student or you're a student athlete is just even seeing yourself on a highlight video, whatever that is. It's just kind of cool to see. So, you know, I think that I definitely agree with what you're saying. Yeah, that's something that I would see myself doing.
What do you see specifically ways that you would like to broaden the video coverage for sports here at Campbellsville?
So obviously we definitely want to continue to build on what type of athletics we're doing. We're doing the basics right now, you know, football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, volleyball. We want to expand that even more. I know earlier this semester we did a swim stream. I thought that was pretty neat. You know, not a lot of college swim teams have athletic streams that they can just get on and watch, or the parents can get on and watch. I thought that was pretty neat. You can do a lot of cool stuff with swimming. Other stuff like esports as well. I think that would be pretty cool to have a nice little setup in there. Just the environment alone, seeing everybody, you know, interacting with their teammates. I think that would be pretty cool. Just different stuff. All these athletics, you know, there's some that you're limited to, like cross country. You can't really just go out there and you have to have the necessary equipment. But I think down the road we're going to try to expand and get all these equal athletic opportunities for all these teams.
Well, Zach, that sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to it, and I know you've been doing a tremendous job. So thank you for coming on the set
Absolutely.
today.
Thank you for having me, Sheldon.
And being in front of the camera rather than behind. I appreciate that.
No problem.
And we'll see you next time here on Inside CU Sports.